You can look at this and you can make a connection. This invasion happened after the government said it would grant amnesty if you entered by sea. Biden did the same thing. What you're seeing there proves again that Trump was right. You were wrong.
Oh, all right.
President Tarlov is offended.
Jessica Tarlov gets called out by Greg Gutfeld after he connects the chaos in Spain to the same border policies that Jessica and her fellow Democrats still defend here in America. Just watch.
You can look at this and you can make a connection. This invasion happened after the government said it would grant amnesty if you entered by sea. So this is really good for Democrats and liberals. This is a textbook demonstration how people respond to changes in cost and benefits. It's what conservatives and economists call incentives. We understand this. If liberals just studied this, they would understand how crime works, how immigration works, how basic things work, but they don't understand incentives. Now you could say, and I'm waiting for it, but in Morocco, you know, there's a lot of poverty and a lot of instability and there's not enough jobs. Well, that stuff exists continuously in Morocco and elsewhere. So what changed was the incentive. Come by sea, you'll stay. And volume exploded. So these were not refugees seeking asylum. The scale and the suddenness of this event tells you that they came due to what you were talking about, signaling. It was a specific signal by the government. And you could say, oh, that's different than the United States. Biden did the same thing. You mentioned ending Remain in Mexico. That was a huge signal. Halting the construction of the wall sent a message to the world that if you don't believe me, you remember it. That was ha, ha, ha. Your limits on immigration are dust. They paused deportations. They gave expanded protected temporary status to Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans. They said that ceasing illegal immigration, this is what Biden said, was cruel and inhumane.
Now, that's not all Biden said. Do you remember this?
There's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
So just to clarify, according to PolitiFact, that clip of then Vice President Joe Biden's remarks in 2015 have been taken out of context and is not proof that he intentionally opened the U.S. borders to immigrants. So we're just to assume that everything after that was mere coincidence. Now, with that being said, it seems like Jessica is still living in denial and feels the need to deflect what's going on in Spain and somehow blame ICE, while still defending Biden's handling of the border. And you won't believe what she has the nerve to say.
It's a catastrophe. Seems like a national emergency. Don't move to Spain. I won't be. And we're not going to turn this country into Spain. The border is shut. I have not heard many Democrats, certainly ones who are going to be running for president, who have said anything, but I think this is a good thing. It was out of control. We need a comprehensive plan to deal with this.
What about the Democratic Socialists who want open borders?
Well, they're not going to be president of the United States of America. I don't think Chevalier from Harlem is going to be.
Biden did this.
AOC might.
This is what happened.
In the first 3 years of the Biden administration were terrible on the immigration front. The last year, that's when the downward trend started. And then President Trump used the laws on the books to seal the border. No one is complaining about that. There is a bipartisan immigration reform bill where James Lankford led it on the Republican side, a pretty conservative Republican, at least as far as I know. Oklahoma seems like a conservative state. And also you ask questions about the Lake and Riley Act, like Senator Warner voted for that. 13 Democrats voted for that. Someone like a John Ossoff, Raphael Warnock, people from Georgia who understand that this is important and that we do need real reforms. But if you think that this means what's going on in Spain, that people aren't going to continue to be outraged about how ICE is behaving here, so sort of 25-year-old U.S. citizen deported, had documentation even ICE officers did not care to review it. If you think that stuff like that is going to stand here, you are sorely mistaken.
Yeah,
whatever
that
Biden did isn't
25-year-old
deserving of this response.
I don't really think it's that different, because we had maybe not quite the same response, but something very similar happened to us when Biden told migrants seeking asylum to, I believe it was, surge the border.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
So was that the signal, or has that been taken out of context too? Let me know in the comments, because this was our border just 10 months after Biden's inauguration.
Tonight, we're following what could be a new surge of tens of thousands of migrants heading to the southern border. Just as we've learned, this year's surge has shattered all previous records, with nearly 2 million migrants crossing the border. Julia Ainsley has more.
Just a month after these stunning scenes from a Texas border bridge, another reminder of the record-shattering migrant surge. New data obtained by NBC News shows over 1.7 million undocumented immigrants were apprehended at the border over the last year, the highest total in American history. And tonight, U.S. officials monitoring tens of thousands more who may soon be making their way north. I want to leave in any way I can, this man says. Migrants amassing in Colombia, Panama, Ecuador, and southern Mexico. Some met with violence from law enforcement along the way. Republicans blame President Biden for encouraging the surge by releasing many migrants into the U.S.
So the point is, what you're seeing there proves again that Trump was right, you were wrong.
Oh, all right.
President Tarlov is offended.
Now, that was just from October of 2021. And remember, Biden was inaugurated on January 20th, 2021. I'll let you do the math. But why is Jessica denying that if a government basically tells people that they can enter a country, that they won't be turned away, and they can potentially gain amnesty, that this wouldn't happen? Are we really supposed to believe that nobody was going to respond to that incentive? And when I see Spain, I see the same thing. They sent a signal, and look what happened. Crossing surged. But Jessica wants to sit up there and tell people that the two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other. So either she's playing dumb or she's still living in denial. And isn't it funny how she can sit up there and brag about how the border is secure? But we never heard a peep from her when Biden was president. Not one little peep. Because back then, the orders were deny the migrant crisis until you're blue in the face. But my question is this. Why would anyone really believe that what's happening in Spain couldn't happen here? We already watched the Biden-era border surge happen right in front of our very own eyes. We can't unsee that. And Jessica knows that it very well could happen in America. And all that talk about the border being secure will go right out the window, and she'll be back to talking about how we need to reform immigration and find more ways to let people stay. We can't forget that when Biden was president, we were told that the border wasn't open and that the border was secure. And we were told that conservatives were exaggerating. But now, all of a sudden, because Trump is actually enforcing immigration laws, now Jessica wants to admit there was a problem? What a joke. And another thing Jessica should explain is this. If she really believes that ICE shouldn't be enforcing immigration laws, then she should be woman enough to just say it. Why hide behind the same old talking points about ICE acting illegally or that immigration enforcement is unacceptable? At the end of the day, if someone is here unlawfully, then shouldn't the federal government at least be allowed to enforce the laws passed by Congress? Is that not how law and order works? I guess not for Jessica, because she seems more concerned with criticizing ICE than discussing the real consequences of illegal immigration. And the audacity of her to talk about who deserves what. How sickening, because you can't talk about one side without talking about the other. And Laken Riley didn't deserve what happened to her. And little Jocelyn didn't deserve what happened to her. But sadly, we'll never hear Jessica talk about them. There are plenty of victims whose families certainly wouldn't call those consequences deserved. But that's just my opinion. I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.